All right, guys, it is time to change out all my treads on my 68 XLCH over here. These have been on the bike for 55 years, and I figured it was about that time to take them off and to put on a brand new set. Now I have these Avons Mark IIs, and it's a real nice tire, and it matches the old one. You can see the sidewalls are just about the same right here in the threads up in front. You know, the treads are just about the same as well, so it's a beautiful match. And so that's a classic look, you know. And so the back one is the exact same way. It is the old one, and it's 55 years old, and it held up extremely well and everything, but it's super hard now, and so it's about that time. It's got to be changed out, but it held up well like all those years. I don't see any cracks in the sidewalls, but I'm not going to ride it on the road, of course, because it's hard, and if you have to stop, you know, it's not going to grip the road, and it's going to slip all over the place. So it's about that time to change it. Now, I bought this bike about 3 years ago. It's been in the garage a lot. It's not been on the road a lot. It's an original bike. It's got about 12,000 miles on it. And so I really have not taken this bike out much. So I have decided to take these off and to put a brand new set of Avons on this bike. Now I got the back one over here. It's going to look just like this one that I have on my other bike. And it's almost the same look to it, you know. So the profile on the side, you know, is a square one, and it's kind of like the old one. And the back of the tire, it's almost the same. So it's a nice look to it. And so I went with the Avon Mark IIs. Now I have the one here on the stand. And so it's balanced out good. I didn't have to put any weight on this one. You know, it's balanced almost pretty exact, actually. And so I think the key to it, you know, when you put on when you look at it, you're going to see a couple little lines up here on the inside, and you have to make sure that these are like even all the way around. You check it all the way around, and so if the guidelines are like even, just like this, all the way around, and so you know, so it's going to end up where you don't have to put a lot of weight on it then. But like this one here is pretty good actually, and I put a mark on it right down here and right down in this area right here, and I gave it a spin, and it doesn't end up on that mark all the time. It ends up all around the tire, so it stops it, you know, so the mark I put on stops the different areas like around, which is good. So if you know, so I got a mark. Let's see, where is it? I put a mark on my tire right, where is it? Let's see here. Hold on a second. Okay, here, I got a mark over here, okay? Now, if you spin it and it stops on that, you know, on that mark all the time, and then it's out of balance, and then you got to add a little bit of weight, like opposite of the mark, like up on top. And you start out with a little bit of weight, just some small stuff like this, you know, just a little weight like this. And if you end up with something big like this, then something's wrong. Then something's drastically wrong. But you always end up with a little tiny weight, actually, like a very small weight. And so you just give it a spin. Just a real light spin here. And you do it over and over again about maybe 7 or 8, 10 times. and you want to make sure that it's not going to stop on your mark. Okay, that your mark you put on top here is going to stop at different areas all the way around. Okay, and just let it stop here, and we'll see where it stops, and it shouldn't stop on my mark. Okay, that's the mark that I have, and I have a different mark right up here as well. I don't know what, right there. Yeah, and so let's give it another spin here. Just a real light spin, and then we'll let it stop, and it should never stop on the same mark. But if it does, you just put a weight up on top here, a small little weight, the opposite of that mark, and then you go from there, and you keep on doing that. Okay, not a big deal. It's easy to do. Let's see. Okay, here it stopped right on that mark over here. Making a layer out of me over here, because before it didn't do that. It didn't stop on the same marker all the time. Let's give it one more try here, and we're going to see. Okay, here it didn't stop on that mark. The mark is over here now. It's right there. So we'll give it one more try. Just spin it lightly like this. And let's see where it stops. Okay, the mark is now over here. All right, and so the other mark I put on is up there, so it's not down here. Now, I've been doing this over and over and over again, and it's been, so the mark I put up here stops at different areas all the way around, so I know it's good. But I just wanted to give you guys like an idea of how to do this. It's pretty easy to do. I have an indicator over here on this side as well, and I put it on the rim before, and I know the rim is running true before I put on the tread, so I know it's running true, and even with it on, it is running true. Even when I put it on the sidewall here, and and I spin it, it's running pretty true actually. So so I know it's in pretty good shape. And that's about it, actually. So this Avon Mark II is going to go on my '68 Sportster over here. And I hate to paint the spike again, but I had to actually paint up the gas tank again, and I duplicated it. It was just like this one down in here, but I had this gas tank that I got with the bike, and it's full of holes, and it didn't have any integrity in it, so I had a new one right on the shelf. It is an original tank that I had. It's the same exact tank, and I put a paint job on it, so so it's going to match the original paint scheme that they had back then in 1968, and it turned out nice. I was going to repaint everything, but this is the old paint, and I want to keep it like that. So it's the original paint job on the bike, on the back and on the shocks and on the motor, and the frame and all of that. So I kept, so I didn't want to mess around with that. So I was forced to do the gas tank, but But I think it turned out great, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And I'm gonna keep it as stock as I could, of course, and it's an original motorcycle, so I want to leave all the original paint on it. I mean, even though it doesn't shine like this one does, I restored this bike, and I redid everything on this one. You know, the paint job and, you know, the engine and everything, but, you know, it's a beautiful bike. But this one here is nice too, but it doesn't have the shine and everything, but, you know, but it's an original bike, and I want to keep it like that. You know, they're hard to find. So I'm going to get in here, and so I'll degrease everything, and I'll put on the rim again and get this thing on the road. But I wanted to introduce you guys to the Avons, because they're real nice, because, I mean, they match the, like, you know, the era, like, of the motorcycle, and they look great. They don't look like they're new and out of place or anything. They, you know, they have that real nice look to them, and so like it, you know, so it's an original look on the sidewalls and the treads, and it's going to match nicely, you know, on your old Sportsters, you know, with the back one as well. On the Avon Mark II, you know, it's going to match nice on the back as well, you know, with that nice square sidewall on the back. It's the same as the back one here. It's got that nice square sidewall. Okay, that's about it, guys. Brand new Avons, and they're finally on the motorcycle, and I'll get this bike out on the road soon. Okay, guys, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.